which looks dead.
But God is saying to you, I have greater for you.
Are you going to believe the word of man, or are you going to stand?
God is going to uncover and expose us as leaders and pastors. So the church have to be on board.
Yes.
I'm out for playing church, people.
Hey friends, it's your girl Brandy from the Spoken Truth Talk Show. This is our second season, episode 1, and it's blazing. Listen, go ahead and share with all of your friends. If you're on Facebook, go ahead and follow us on Facebook, and please subscribe to YouTube and turn on the notifications so that you will know when we're on live. We're live every week on Friday at 7 p.m. Mountain Standard Time, 8 p.m. Central Standard Time. Guys, listen, I'm so excited about tonight. If you watched last season, we opened with a new segment that we have called All in the Family. And All in the Family, we just listen. I have my family on. They're so hilarious. But tonight, we're going to have my mom on All in the Family, and she's willing to come on and tell you her story. Listen, if you know anyone that dealt with drug abuse, go ahead and share this video. Go ahead. Come on. What you waiting on? Share this video, because my mom is coming on the show to be very transparent. And listen, she was really nervous about this, but she knew that it would set people free. And we never had this conversation, so this is all new, okay? And I would love for you guys to support. Go ahead, chat it up, let her see your comments, because listen, this is going to bring healing to so many people, and I want everyone to hear this, because we have gotten so used to sweeping everything up under the rug and wearing a mask. And the Bible says in John 8:32, and you will know the truth, and the truth will set you free. Listen, Jesus is the only way, the truth, and the life. And he's the only one that can set us free. But we have to be truthful. And guys, we have to back it up by the word. And my mom is coming on to tell her story and how God turned it around. So please go ahead and share. I'm so excited for the second season with All in the Family, because I hold it dear to my heart, because it's my mom on the show. And I'm so happy and excited for her, because it's going to bring so much healing to not only you guys, but us too. So this is the first time her telling her story, and I'm just asking her questions. I'm sitting back and I'm listening myself to take it all in, okay? And it is a tearjerker, so get ready. So thank you so much for joining the opening of our second season, and still my birthday, okay? My birthday was on the 12th, but it's still my birthday today, okay? I'm celebrating all week long. But thank you so much for joining, and please share with all your friends. And welcome to the show, my mom, Miss Yvonne Newson. So, Mom, welcome to the Spoken Truth.
Okay.
Are you excited or are you nervous? Tell our friends.
Well, I'm excited.
You are excited? What you excited about the most?
The question, I don't know.
The questions? You don't know about the questions?
Yeah.
Well, I made sure, guys, that I gave her a preview because I didn't want to catch her off guard. But you know a little bit about the questions.
Yeah.
But our whole point today is to kind of, one, we want to be transparent with the people, because I know your story will reach a lot of people, and I think it'll set them free. And then two, you know, it'll be a healing place for us, your daughters, and our family, you know, because we never talked about this, guys, ever. We never, ever talked about the things that we're about to discuss. I don't know why. Well, I kind of know why, but however, I'm glad that we're able to talk about it now. I think that it will help our family. It will definitely bring healing to you and us, and we can move forward, you know.
Okay.
So you ready?
Yes.
So my first question, and by the way, you look nice. You're looking good.
Thank you.
Yeah, your hair look nice. Okay, God, look at her. Look at her. She ready. So let's start. Tell our friends of the show how many sisters and brothers you had growing up.
Well, altogether, it was 11 of us, and 2 died earlier, you know, at the age of 8, each one, and they was paralyzed. They had sickle cell.
So 11 altogether and 2 passed. Okay.
So that left 9. And now it's 6 of us. 3 more than passed. Yeah, 3 more than passed.
Now, grandmother had more pregnancies though, right?
Yes, she had 14 kids altogether.
Wow. What was it like growing up in the house with a lot of sisters and brothers?
It was pretty cool because I was one of the oldest ones. So
Yeah.
it was pretty nice.
It was nice. What type of parents was grandma and grandpa? I know about them after we got, of course, older. We all lived in the same house. It was about 40 people in one house, probably with about 4 bedrooms. I don't know. So how was it like growing up with grandpa and grandma?
But they always made a way for her people to come to St. Louis and live with us too. So they was some loving, caring people, and especially my mother. She was good to me. I had a beautiful life, and she accepted me when I got pregnant, and Daddy was really mad.
Well, that's usually dads.
15. And he was going to throw me out.
You was 15?
And my mama said, well, I'll go. Yes. My mother said, I'll leave. And it became pretty good. I stayed and she stayed, and Daddy accepted it. And
you was pregnant with Yolanda, right?
yes, I was pregnant with Yolanda.
And go ahead.
So I didn't leave, and then Daddy wound up, I had a beautiful pregnancy. I mean, whatever I wanted to eat, they had it. I had ice cream every day because Daddy had a service station. Well, he owned 2.
He owned 2 service stations.
So we had a good life. We didn't have to want for nothing or, and stuff. He was a good father. Well, he did what he wanted to do, but
Right.
he still was good to his kids.
Right. Did you graduate from high school?
No, I didn't. High school, well, I went to the 9th, the 10th grade.
You went to the 10th?
Yes.
And then what happened?
Then I couldn't go no more because I had Yolanda, so I had to stay at home. Then I got married a year after.
How old were you
17.
when you got married? So y'all was able to marry at 17 back then?
Well, yes, if your parents had consent, if they, signed for you to get married.
Have you ever had anything tragic growing up that happened to you?
Tragic.
Yeah. Like, beatings, tragic deaths, or molestation, anything?
Well, deaths I did. And then I was like, I would fall out and stuff at funerals, maybe because tragic. Oh, okay, now the first thing that I had what you call it, I had fever. I had fever at night, and I had a goiter, and it was choking me, so they had to bathe me in alcohol and water. And I got in, and then the doctor would tell me, don't get in no swimming. And the kids was having so much fun. I got in that water, and my aunt had saved me. If she hadn't been there from work, I would have been through.
You almost drowned.
I almost drowned. And from then on, I had a beautiful day. When I came home from the hospital, when I woke up, I had all my family, all my grandparents, mother and father and grandparents, and my dad's side and my mom's side was there. And then when I came home, Miss Richmond, Mom was working for this lady named Miss Richmond. And I had everything. I had all the dolls you can name. I had a bike, which my brother tore it up. I never did get a chance to ride. But they gave me everything when I came home. I was special, like when I was little.
So that was the only tragic thing, almost drowning?
Yes, that was really tragic.
What about the deaths of your brothers?
Well, okay, I'm gonna get to that. Okay, they now when Jimmy first died, I fell out because maybe I was suffering with whatever I had, a goiter and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And then after that, I would fall out.
How old were you when Jimmy died?
Well, he's a year older. He was a year older than me. No, 2 years old than I was.
Mm-hmm.
So I had to been. He was 8, so I had to been 6.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
And then what? The next brother that passed.
Now he got the house caught on fire, and he got overcome by the smoke. So maybe I was 9 then.
Mm.
And now he wasn't older than me, Jimmy.
He was younger than you.
Yeah, he was younger.
Mm.
He was down there by Lovey.
Mm-hmm.
So
Lovey is your younger sister, right up under you.
Yeah, she's after me.
Mm-hmm. So, any other tragic things that have happened?
Well, when mom's mother died,
Mm-hmm.
so that was tragic.
So, what happened in the 80s, you guys? One of the things that happened in the 80s, it was like this huge epidemic of crack cocaine. If you ever lived during that time, growing up my age during that time, it was crazy. So you remember most of the things that was going on. So crack cocaine like hit the nation. And so in the 80s resulted in a lot of our family members with drug abuse. And my mom ended up being one of them. It was many of them, but she was one. And this really disrupted our family. So with that, what happened in the 80s that resulted in drug abuse?
Well, I guess it was the thing that was out then, and everybody, well, I can't say everybody, but a lot of people, that was on it,
Mm-hmm.
and you just was there and you got introduced to it, which I did, but it was started off free. Then they know they was going to get you caught up, and then you had to start buying it, because the free stuff was gone and once they got you hooked on it, so.
When was your first time trying other drugs other than weed?
Well, that's all I had was weed and that.
How old were you?
Well, weed, I was, I guess I was 20 because I didn't like the smell of it, at first.
Mm-hmm.
And I would now I was married then, so they kept smoking it, and I said, well, I'm going to try it. I said, then I tried it. I said, ooh, this is what I've been missing, the marijuana. So that's what happened on that one. And then when the crack came out, ooh, Lord, that was devastating right there.
Yeah. So do you think the marijuana started first and then you wanted something higher?
No, it was just, that's what they was doing then, when the crack came out, well, like I said, I can't say everybody was on it, but, you if you was around people that, was doing it, and then you tried, then it was something different.
So how old were you when you started using crack cocaine?
No, I don't.
Were you was still with Yolanda's dad? Or
No, no.
You
I
wasn't with him anymore?
No, I wasn't with him.
So when did it start?
You was born in 81. I wasn't in it then, so had to been 86.
I was about 6 years old.
Yeah.
Well, when it got bad, I was 6.
Well, it had to been around that time.
Who introduced you?
This dude named Jonathan Livingston.
You didn't have to say his name. But one of your friends.
Yes.
And where were you at?
We were staying on Flag. No, was it Flag?
It was on the south side. Was it Russell?
No, it wasn't Russell.
But you was with some friends.
Mm-hmm.
Y'all was hanging out.
Mm-hmm.
And what happened?
Well, like I say, there was, people get you hooked on it. They start off free until, you get, to liking it. Then it goes away from being free. Then you got to buy it yourself.
Mm. And so, was it an instant addiction?
Oh, yeah.
It was instant.
But you can never get the same high again.
Mm. So you're chasing a high.
You're chasing a high.
Mm.
Yes.
Now, you was introduced to it with a friend, and then it became an addiction. So at this point, I was 6, and so I believe Yolanda was probably 15 at the time. If I was 6, 10 years older, so she was probably 14, 15. So it went to a point where you was leaving us in the house by ourselves, right?
I was leaving, y'all left me out of the house by yourself.
I'm asking you.
I don't remember leaving nobody in the house.
Because Yolanda had to kind of be there for us.
I wasn't, if I did, y'all was at Mama's house. If anything, I'd leave y'all in the house by yourself. Because Mama, that's one of the reasons Mama didn't want me to take y'all with me. Because she didn't want nobody, y'all be around men's,
Yeah.
So that I didn't never leave you in the house. If anything, Slim had been around y'all or something.
So we ended up in many shelters at one point. And I remember I had a high fever. And it went away because Yolanda would run away all the time. She was that child. And she ran away, and I had a high fever. Do you remember that day when she came back and the fever went away?
No.
You don't remember? No. Why did we go to so many shelters?
Because I was looking to try to get housing. And if y'all wasn't with me, I wouldn't get no house.
So you had to take us with you.
Yeah.
So we had to suffer and go to shelters.
But y'all didn't never stay. Because y'all wind up staying with Mama. So y'all didn't never stay at no shelters.
I remember a few of them. We lived in shelters. You're saying that we didn't stay in it?
No, y'all didn't stay. No.
But we was there.
You went with me the first one. But you left. And then, okay, now that was in St. Charles. So now that was the first one. And that was because of for battered women's. And I wind up staying at that one for 6 weeks because I left school.
What was the second one?
The second one was down on 12th Street.
I
And
remember that one.
Now Granny, I stayed down there and helped Granny, cook and stuff. So that's why I was at that one. I wound up helping her.
And what was the third one?
What the third one was?
I don't know. I'm asking you.
It wasn't no third one. But I went to that one 2 times. But y'all wasn't with me. No, y'all wasn't with me. Mama wasn't lying there.
So one of your brothers passed away, and we found out he had drugs in his system. Can you tell us about that story?
No, I didn't know that Slim had somebody bringing him drugs. I was waiting on him to call me, and he never did call. I told him to call before we got off the phone that night, and he never called. So that morning, they called and said Mama was in the hospital. I didn't go because I was waiting on Slim to call me. And that was my best friend.
Yeah, I had a great relationship.
Oh, yes.
How long were you guys doing drugs together? Was you on it first and then he got on it, or what happened?
I guess I was on it first.
Did you introduce him to it?
No.
So how did he get on
Now that I don't know. If he was around people down there on Cascasco, I don't know.
it on the south side of St. Louis?
Yes.
So that definitely was your best friend. Did you know that he was doing drugs around that time before he went into the hospital?
Yeah, I kind of knew.
You kind of knew?
But
So
I didn't know he was let somebody bring him drugs to the hospital. Now that I didn't know.
do you feel guilty? Did you have any guilt when he passed away?
No. Why would I have guilt? And
Sometimes you feel guilt because you
Well, I
was
know
using it with the person before they got in.
Well, I know one thing.
Mm-hmm.
I was devastated, you know, after he died. I really was. I fell out at the funeral 3 times.
You was known for falling out. You don't handle funerals.
Well,
She the one that we be like, oh Lord, here she goes, falling all out.
I know with him, I fell out 3 times, but my mom, she made a way that I didn't fall out, and she came to me and said, a job well done. And when she said that, I shook my head, and just like I'm talking to you.
Mama, we don't participate in the dead coming back and
Well,
talk.
she did say something to me, so.
So with that, do you feel guilty?
With Mom's?
No, with
With
Slim's
Slim.
death.
No, I didn't feel guilty because
How did you feel? Your
I
baby
felt
brother
hurt.
passed away.
I felt really hurt. I was just devastated because that was my best friend.
Did that at that time? I know you at that time you was living in the projects down there. Did you really go into a point where you did drugs all the time after that point because you couldn't handle the pain?
Yeah. Well, him and Mama. So that was like 3. They was 3 months.
Because you went
and a
missing
half
for a
in.
while,
Yeah.
and we had to kick the door in.
Yeah. So.
You remember that?
Yeah, but Mom was my everything, and Slim was my best friend.
Because she
couldn't handle
passed
that.
3 months afterwards.
3 months and a week. I couldn't take that one.
So
If I could have killed myself, I would have.
that's how you felt. You felt suicidal.
Yes.
And so you began to do a lot of
Yeah,
drugs at
drugs.
that time.
Yes, I did.
Did you ever give your body away for drugs?
No.
You didn't do any of that?
No. Didn't do that. This is some kind of way. I always had a way that I didn't have to do that.
So we was taken away from you. If you can go back, I believe grandmother gained custody at 9. I believe Dion ran away, right? Or where was Dion?
Well, Dion went with me, but then she wound up going to George's house, and they wouldn't tell me where she was. But she did go with me.
She went with you. And grandmother took me.
Yes.
And then Yolanda.
Yolanda was kind of old enough to be out on her own then.
Yeah, she was 18 or 19. So, if you can go back with that time, us being taken away from you, how did that make you feel?
Now I was hurt, but then I straightened up, you know, to get you back. I did do that.
How many years was that? 3, 4 years?
About probably 3 because I started working.
And then you did get me back, but then you went back out there.
Yeah.
I remember that because we lived with Washington. I just say Washington.
Yeah, Washington, yeah.
So that's when you went back.
Yeah.
What happened with that?
Well,
I think I was only with you for a year because I was in sixth grade at the time.
6.
Yeah, I was going to the school off Enright. So I think I was 6th or 7th grade. Yolanda came and got me actually. So what happened with that?
Oh, well, shooter died. I mean, Mr. Washington's son died.
Mm-hmm. Did that make you, go back?
Well, yes.
What happened then? Did you introduce it with Mr. Washington, or he introduced it to
He
you?
introduced me to it back then. So
Again.
not meaning to, but he just lost it after his son got killed.
Did you know back then I was, that's when I got turned out with marijuana? I was stealing it from y'all.
You were still at the house?
I was 12 years old. I used to have friends over when y'all went to work.
Let's see, you didn't say nothing to nobody.
Why would I tell you at the time?
See?
I got turned out then at 12.
What?
I was stealing from y'all.
And then now you're going to whip it on me now.
I just wanted to tell you. I mean, now it's just bringing up memories since we're talking.
And you were stealing.
I did. I know better now, but y'all had it in the house. The importance of not having it around your kids. You just never know out there, okay?
Yeah.
So, there was a story when you was out there really, really bad at this point. And I remember Johnny. I definitely remember him.
Who was Johnny?
Jonathan, whoever he is.
Jonathan.
I remember him because I remember him coming over at Grandma's house, and I caught y'all a couple of times doing it. Well, you had the door and the windows open. Do you remember that? Coming home from school. I was coming home from Sherman School. And I remember him, light-skinned, tall guy. And I could not stand him. However, back then, when I was about 9, that's when it got you really got bad around that time. I mean, you started when we was 5, 6. But at 9.
That was the first time that I did it with him with that. So
Yeah.
he introduced me to that.
Yeah. So I would see him all the time. And at this time, there was a story that Yolanda told us. I mean, she told us she wouldn't tell you. I mean, I don't think she mentioned nobody but her sisters. That she was sold for drugs to.
But now I don't
Is that
remember that. No, I don't have no reaction.
Do you remember
of that.
the guy that she said that she ended up at the hotel with him?
Well, she said it. I don't remember nothing like that because I wouldn't have did that.
Is it by any chance that you was really, really gone that you just don't know? Because I know people, when they're really, really gone, they're not in a conscious state. So a lot of things that they do that they don't remember.
I don't remember that.
You don't remember? Did you talk to her about it?
Yeah, I mean, a few minutes ago, early today, that's the first time I talked to her about it. And she said, that happened, so I don't remember. I told her, I don't remember that.
You think she telling the story?
Now, I don't know because I wouldn't have did that. I wouldn't sell my kids with no drugs, no. No.
So, at this point...
And then she said that the man didn't do nothing to her.
Because they began to talk and she got sick.
Yeah, so why would she say I sold her for drugs? And then the man, if he said he gave me something, why would he go back and tell her that he didn't give me nothing?
That's her story.
Well, he can tell her anything. If
You
she was
dropped
16.
her off. She said you dropped her off.
Well,
You and Johnny.
I don't even remember dropping her off. I wouldn't have did that now, Brandy.
Well,
I wouldn't have
I
did
mean, you know.
I wouldn't have did that.
Okay. So, you have been clean now for 3 years.
Yes.
And you've been walking with Jesus.
Yes.
It's been 3 years, right? How do you feel now?
I feel good. I feel blessed. You know, I just got so much joy now, you know, and if I had known what I know now, I wished I could have got saved a long time ago. You know?
Right.
But sometimes you have to go through something to get where you are. You know, everybody has a story, you know, that they're not proud of.
Yeah.
And they done did, you know. But then, you know, God forgive us. And we start all over again. a new life,
A new life.
you know.
Mm.
And I'm okay now, and thanks to you and Corey. Y'all took care of me when I couldn't take care of myself. Then I wanted to just be out on my own again.
Mm-hmm.
And it's hard. You know, I have days that, you know, I don't want to do. You know, that I have to just have to do for myself, you know.
Have you been tempted to do any drugs?
No,
Is it people around you that have offered it to you?
no,
No?
nobody. Because I'm not really around nobody now. You know, I stay in the senior citizen home. And I stay way down the other side of the hall.
Mm-hmm.
Ain't nobody coming down there.
So Grandma was very instrumental in making sure I was taken care of.
Yes.
During the time you were out there. Do you appreciate having a mother like that?
Oh, yes. She was my rock. She was my everything.
I don't know where
And
we
she
would have
made
been
me-
without her.
And she made me, and she let me enjoy myself, my young life after I got divorced. You know, she kept me out. She wouldn't even let me come and get y'all and stuff.
How old were you when you got divorced?
17, 21.
What happened to your relationship with Dion and Yolanda father?
He stayed in jail.
How old was he when he went to jail?
Probably 19.
And how old were you?
Well, he had to been older. He's 3 years older than me, so he had to been
So he went to jail right when y'all got married?
right after we got married.
Did you guys have a good relationship? Was he
He
abusive?
was always gone. Yeah, well, yes. He stayed gone, and then I found out years later that he had 2 sets of family.
And that's where our brother and sister came from. Now, was he on drugs at that time?
Now, yes, now he was shooting drugs. So,
You wasn't doing that with him?
no, I ain't finna shoot none of my arms.
What about the relationship you had with my dad? Because you had me 5, 6 years later after Dion, right? So what was your relationship like with my dad?
We had a good relationship. Your brother, he broke that up, him and your grandmother.
What type of dad he was? Because I didn't meet him until I was like 25.
Well, he wasn't never a dad, so, and then after you was born, he got out the system. So he had other kids he was paying child support for. So he got out of the system. And he owned his own laundromat, so.
Why do you think he did not claim me as his daughter?
He knew you was his daughter because he knew when we conceived you. But
Why
know,
you think he just didn't claim you though?
Well, he told you later on, but you know, we had got out of contact and stuff, you know.
Why you didn't introduce me to him? Why did it take me to go looking for him?
Well, if you wanted to know him, you had to go because I wasn't with him no more.
But you could have at least allowed me to see him.
If he had wanted to see you, Brandy, he would have. He didn't want nothing to do with you because he was trying to face not paying child support, okay? And he already had 3 or 4 that he was taking care of then. So he just got out the system, period. But now, I did go and apply for him, you know, for them. But he said that he told them something because the paper came back to me saying something that he had said. but he knew you was his. And you look just like him.
Do you have anything you would like to say?
And you got your daddy nose.
Okay, we're off of him because I met him at 25. Thank God I met him. He passed away a few years afterwards, but
Yeah.
I wish you would have made sure I met him earlier, though.
But you didn't want to know him. You said when you were small, you didn't want to know him.
I don't think
You don't remember that?
Not small. I would never. I wanted a dad. I desired to have a dad. I used to think Smokey Robinson was my dad, but that's a whole nother story. So, do you have anything that you would like to say to Yolanda, Deanna, myself?
Well, I wish that I could have been the mother that y'all wanted me to be when I was young. But, you know, sometimes we all go through things that we don't even understand ourselves. So, but then I'm a better grandmother than I was a mother, you know, and a better grandmother and a great grandmother. But, you know, my mother let me enjoy my life.
Mama, that's not enjoying.
She let me.
Do you think that you could
She's
have?
for me, probably, what you say. Because I was the only child that she kept.
Well, she didn't have a choice if you was out there on drugs.
But I wasn't out there on drugs at first. I was working, and she let me not bring y'all home. You know, not have to come and get y'all at night or get Dion and Yo-Yo.
But back to the question, do you have anything that you would say to us now? Because this is the first time that we had this conversation. Dion and Yolanda will be on the show next week, following after this. But this is the first time that we ever had this conversation and you truly admitting these things, you know, to us and knowing what happened. So anything that you would like to say to us?
Well, I just hope y'all know that that I love y'all, and whatever I did to y'all and wasn't a parent to y'all then, I'm more of a parent now, you know, than I was then. And I hope y'all can forgive me.
We forgive you. Do you forgive yourself?
Oh yeah, I've been there, forgave myself.
So, do you believe you have a better relationship with your daughters now?
Yes.
All three of us?
Yes, I hope so.
Do you feel that we have forgiven you?
Yes, I do.
It took you a minute to say that.
Well, I'm just thinking. I had to think. Yes, I do.
You know that we've forgiven you? How do you know that?
Because y'all more loving toward me now, so.
We wasn't then?
Well, we never really talked about it. Like you say, I'm just now talking to you about it now.
Mm-hmm.
So, and then, and I know all three of y'all love me, and I love y'all.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I mean, I tried to be a parent more than y'all fathers were, you know.
Mm-hmm. You now have a better relationship with your grandkids. Do you feel like you making up for not being a mother to us?
Yes. Yes, I truly do believe that. Because I love them.
Yeah, you do.
Maybe I wasn't cut out to be a mother in the first time, you know. You know, when I had Yolanda, maybe I was too young. And, you know, I just had to grow up too fast, you know. And then I don't know. I can't answer that. What happened?
Anything else you would like to say?
No, I know. I miss my mom. And I thank her for helping me with y'all. And she was here now. But I did do all I could for her when she got sick and couldn't make it. And couldn't do for herself. No. She was truly a mom to me.
So, we forgive you. There definitely still needs to be a lot of healing. But I wanted to ask those questions because, there's still more. Because there's a lot of things you don't know that happened to us during that time.
See.
And a lot of things that happened. But today's show is not about that. We'll come back with that. But, I think that I really began healing when you came and moved with us in 2017. And sometimes you can forgive, but there's some wounds, that I didn't know that was there. And so I think that you coming here was an act of God saying, yeah, we're going to fix the relationship, because usually we played parents. So it was like, okay, come to mom rescue, what's going on with mom? And we never was able to be a kid. And I think that what happened was I had to heal those wounds, when you came. And I think it's still more healing for us. It's still a process, but I think I totally forgive you, and you are better now. These 3 years, you being totally clean has been a blessing. What the enemy meant for your bad, you were sick. And I would display those pictures to you guys. She was in a hospital and nearly lost her life. She had a hole in her brain, a fistula that was about this big, and it was infected. And so they said that she wouldn't be able, if she was to come out of the coma, she wouldn't be able to walk or talk or use her mobile skills or any of that ever. But God pulled her out, and it was because of years on drugs, 30 plus years on drugs. And she almost did not make it. And so for her to be talking and, have some part of her memory, most of your memory, it's a blessing. But I feel like we have a better relationship now. What you think? Mm-hmm. And although the enemy meant for her bad, where she nearly lost her life, God worked it out for her good. She's been clean for 3+ years and living a straight life, a blessed life, and closer to us than before. I think all of us, I think it was a wake-up call. And of course, we do have a past that we have to heal from, but I think with the Lord and, with us, being open and transparent and talking about this, it really helped. Just sitting here asking these questions and you answering it, you did a good job. You didn't have to walk out because you said you was going to walk out. I said, okay, we still going to have the cameras running. She said, you asking me these type of questions? Yes, we need to hear it.
God ain't through working on me.
You're doing a good job. I'm proud of you. You know that?
Yeah.
I'm proud of you. And you actually told your story live on social media, YouTube and Facebook. So I'm proud of you.
Yes.
Anything else you would like to say?
Well, those who are out there, they still on drugs. If you had experience like I did and almost lost my life, get off. Just get off. if it take, if God do to you what he did done to me to make me get off, then hey, so be it. But you might not make it. He had mercy and grace for me. Okay? That's all I wanted to say.
I think this will help so many people, Mom. You did a good job. You did. I'm proud of you. I'm so proud of you. And you looking good. I'm so happy that God brought you out.
Yes, he did. And it wasn't that many days that I was in that coma. Now that was a blessing. That was a wake-up call for me, everybody. I mean, he saved me. And I would cherish him until I die. Because he didn't have to let me stay here at all. But he bought me out.
And now you're about to be 66 in March.
Yes.
And you look good.
And I didn't think I was going to be able to walk again or talk, but I pushed on through it. With the grace of God and his mercy. And it was hard, but he never left me or forsake me. That's why I can't deny him, because I know it's a God. Y'all, if y'all don't believe in him, it is a God out there. And he watches over us. Even whatever we do, he forgives us. And he forgave me. And I forgave myself. That's how I had to heal. And he helped me.
There you guys have it. Proud of you. Good job, Mom.
Thanks, Brandon. I thought it was going to be harder than that.
You did good.
I gotta bring correction. I gotta bring the truth. Pray for boldness.
The church is being shaken
The
right
church
now.
is blinded. The church has literally left God and don't even know it. Rise up, God's people.